Two back-to-back 200 plus chases in a single day. 900 plus runs scored in a single day. And after all that, DC still lost the game.
She was online. He was online. He didn't text. She didn't text. Ego won. Delhi Capitals lost.
Delhi Capitals choked.
Chocodals. Every single time. These guys manage to surprise me over and over again. And I don't know how I end up surprised at this point. Wait,
The
something. Oh,
moment
never mind.
Delhi,
That's just us.
the moment Delhi crossed 200, I knew like Punjab will chase this. You're just giving them more reasons to have a good chase. Every time a team scores 200 plus, Punjab is easily chasing them down.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, teams have to show up with better bowling plans to Punjab because they can't let Priyansh and Prab get off to starts like this. I still feel like Punjab's middle order, similar to Rajasthan, is a slight weak link. You can't expect the same performance out of the likes of Vadera, Shashank, and Swadesh, but they give you enough to ensure that the work put in by the top four is producing some sort of result. It's they make sure it's fruitful.
Yeah, we could still see Nehal Vadera playing tuk tuk over there.
Correct. And even Iyer took some time. I think he was 28 of 20 balls at one stage before he started, hitting.
But with Iyer, we know like all it takes is a span of two or three balls for him to change the
Correct.
game.
Yeah, it was always Punjab's game. Funnily enough, we have Athar in the chat. Athar texted on one group saying that Punjab will chase it down. Sumuk texted on one group saying Punjab will chase it down. And I texted on a completely different group saying DC score is not enough.
The moment like you see KL Rahul
Batting
put
at the
up a
strike
show, high score, you know that the team score is not enough.
rate. Correct.
No matter
If
how much he
we
scores,
do it
the
and the
team,
pitch is 300,
the team is easily 20-30 short.
for sure. And look, in all honesty, I feel like they were doing a brilliant job up until those last few overs. Um, there could have been a little bit more of an acceleration later on. I just feel like DC did not do enough with the bat. Even if they did, Lungi Ngidi's injury will cause them a lot of worries. So I wouldn't blame them completely. Maybe having Lungi would have helped them defend it a little better, or at least pick up a couple of wickets in between. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, like when you cross 250 plus in the first innings in a day game, like 9 out of 10 times you would put yourself saying, I got a winning score here, but
There he
this
is.
was one such game. And
Yeah.
yeah, like Punjab have 100% win rate when they're chasing down 250 plus.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah,
Having done it once is a big deal, especially against a very good KKR side. Having
championship
done
winning.
it twice is monumental, I would say.
Yeah.
There he is.
But
There he is.
do you think Delhi recover from this?
Feel like they can, just not in the next game. It'll take them a couple of games because next game is against us. That's all I'm saying.
And that is in Raipur.
They play in Delhi.
Oh, you mean Delhi? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hmm. Away game, no? So Delhi will play. Come, let's look at Delhi Chocolate's schedule. They will play RCB on Monday, after which they play RR on Friday. And then they have a couple of easy games in CSK and KKR on Tuesday and Friday again. After which they have to deal with Punjab again.
I don't think beating CSK will be easier now going forward. They got
Correct.
a pretty much settled team.
They do, and as news has it, Tala might not be playing in the playing 11 because apparently he respects to winning combination and does not want to disturb it and give chance to youngster. Where was giving chance to youngsters for the past 2 years? Instead of sitting and being a liability in the team, I feel like if he had given a chance to some youngster and someone had pulled up earlier, this could have been a very different story for CSK. Yeah,
Yeah, they do have something common there. Ricky Ponting.
yeah, very true. Punter, common. Shashank Singh dropping three catches last game, one very important catch this game. Somehow did not end up biting Punjab back in the ass. This is a very interesting statement. I think, sorry, where did you say it? Yeah, there it is. Huh. We didn't do anything wrong today. You didn't. But the absence of one key bowler costs you a lot,
Hey, Karun Nair.
Karun Nair. That
Yeah.
also.
Negative 47 runs contribution.
Someone once said, "Dear God, please give me another chance." Today, he gave Shreyas Iyer another chance, twice. Okay,
The
just
more
addressing the comment here is
annoying part is like he's laughing after dropping those two catches like nothing
yeah,
happened.
no, I mean, the second catch that he dropped, he went for it with his hands away from each other. Any basic level cricket coach, I am talking about cricket coaching for children, which you would find in every other road in Bangalore. Anyone seeing the way Karun Nair approached that catch would have caught him by the ear and pulled him into the middle of the net and have a bowler bowl Yorkers at his ass. It's very disappointing to see fielding standards dip so incredibly in this IPL. We saw that in the T20 World Cup as well. India had one of the worst fielding efficiencies in the tournament. I still don't know how we ended up winning. Just that everyone else was even more shit on the particular day. But
I don't know if you have observed this, but since the 10 team IPL started, they have an increasingly number of dropped catches starting from the mid of the tournament, and it's been a repetitive sign over the years.
yeah, and I feel like it's just because the trend has shifted. I still feel like 2022 was fine.
Yeah,
2023, when the impact player came in, that fielding efficiency became very problematic because a lot of teams started focusing more on their batting and bowling because it has
I think
become
up
a
until
day-by-day.
2022, it was fine because they were playing in only three venues and they pretty much knew all
Correct.
possible scenarios and they practiced in the same grounds for
Hmm.
like many weeks.
Makes sense. I mean, once you get used to a certain condition, then it becomes a lot easier. But I still don't see how that's an excuse for. We saw Washington Sundar drop a catch yesterday. We saw two sitters being dropped today. We saw another case where the dive was fine, the ball was stopped, and in the attempt of picking it up and throwing it, the leg had touched the boundary. So these are basic mistakes which should be rectified at a very early stage of your game, and it shouldn't be at the IPL level that people are still calling you, holding you by your shoulder, and telling you to fix your fielding.
Historic enough to choke their highest ever total.
I'd say they did a solid job without Lungi and Gidi, so that is fair. I'll give that to you.
Yeah, but still conceding back to 64.
Any day,
Like
any
even if you
day.
had considered 230, 240 would have been fine.
You score anything more than 240, you're expected to defend it. Karun Nair catches better than. I have no idea how this is related, but valid. We told you in the previous live itself, your qualification hopes are completely dependent on your choking capabilities. And this is just how you have to look at it. Look, in their upcoming games, they play KKR twice.
Free
Um,
4 points.
yeah, free 4 points for sure. And they play CSK once, which is
That's a 50-50, I would say.
it's a 50-50 touch and go game. They play Punjab once and RR twice, and that's going to be what they will struggle with. Of course, RCB, I'm not really going to give you guys too much of a chance against RCB, but you're playing RR twice and Punjab once, so I really don't see Delhi pulling up with any points there. Of course, if
I
they
think
they
better
do
to
have
keep the
Stark. Stark is
calculator in hand from now.
yeah. Stark being back might boost it a little bit if they do end up having a green surface. I mean, Jafra is definitely going to cook them from one side, but I just feel like the Delhi openers are more equipped to handle Jafra than the Rajasthan openers are to handle Stark. I think that's the best way I can phrase it. So
Yeah.
it will be a game of two power plays when Delhi and RR play against each other. This I actually see it happening, especially if Delhi and RR share one win each in their two fixtures. Um,
It all goes about how you break into those top three
Correct. So
when
if
when
you
you're
look at the
playing.
point table right now, Punjab is yet to lose a game, 13 points. RCB on 10, SRH on 10, RR on 10. So this is what we have right now. There is a chance that CSK pulls through, but there is also a chance that RR manage to keep their points because they do play a couple of easy games coming up. If you want to look at RR's schedule, they play Delhi twice. They played Punjab once. That's going to be tough. But they play GT, LSG, and MI after that. So
They have at
only
least
play
half
one
the game.
feeder.
At
I,
least half
I
the
don't think RR will choke if they have three games against the bottom feeders because that automatically brings you to 16 points and 16 is
16 is
usually
pretty much sorted.
good state. CSK on the other hand will have a tougher road. So like if there is any team that has a chance at matching RR, it is either CSK or DC. And CSK's road is a little difficult. GT also has a chance, but I just don't see it happening.
CSK, GT, or DC, if one had to go through out of these instead of RR, who would it be? Be very honest, surely DC, right?
I would say
DC.
GT.
GT.
Yeah. And my reasoning behind this, I know that GT doesn't have the best of uh, batting orders, especially when it comes to the middle order. But if you look at GT's schedule, they play one against CSK, one against KKR, and they have three tough games against RR, Punjab, and RCB. But two of those happen in Ahmedabad, where you can trust Gill and Butler to pull up.
Just for one game. Bare minimum one game
Yeah.
in
So
Ahmedabad. Like you can expect them to win at least one.
yeah, because I see Shubman Gill pulling up for at least one of those games, maybe a proper 80, 85 knock. You will end up seeing that in Ahmedabad. So it's very likely that GT can do something here, but I don't see RR not qualifying here.
Yeah, RR looking like sure shot contenders, but looking at the way even SRH are shaping up right now, it's going to
Yeah.
be pretty tight. I don't think 14 points would be enough this season.
Yeah, because
It
suddenly
would.
they're both looking good. I remember mentioning this at the start of the season. SRH look like a shit team only because of their bowling. But if they're able to put together a side where Pat Cummins is bowling well, Ishan Malinga is bowling well, Sakib Hussain is bowling well, three fast bowlers giving you a good amount, and Nitish Reddy is bowling like he's on another planet. They don't even need to play Praful right now. Praful is a hit or miss bowler. I called this in the beginning itself. Despite his performance against Rajasthan in the first game, I did mention that Sakib was going to turn out to be the better T20 weapon. And that is largely because of his variation
Very.
and also because he has a better batting ability than Praful. People don't know this, but one of these days you will see Sakib Hussain pulling up with the bat and providing SRH a few crucial runs towards the end. Now, I just don't see SRH screwing up too much from here, at least until the playoffs. All they need to do is drop Praful and have an extra spinner in the side. That's about it.
Yeah, the top four looks pretty much sealed
Yeah.
unless the bottom teams.
You have IPL will start IPLing starting from tomorrow. We'll see a lot of changes in the tide. I think we have four teams facing off tomorrow, which are all in the bottom half of the table, right? We have CSK, um,
GT.
GT, KKR, and LSG. Yes. So tomorrow will be a fun
I
day of
think
cricket.
two teams will minimum get the points.
Yeah. Will Dhoni play tomorrow? No, I don't think so. I feel like this whole Tala gimmick, it's about time that they ended it. It's about time that they stop raising expectations before every CSK game saying MS Dhoni will play. And just before the game happens, there will be some stupid ass news like, oh, MS Dhoni is still not fit, or MS Dhoni is in the side but might play as an impact player. He is in the side, but he is ready to give up his position for our youngsters so that the winning combination is not disturbed. All this bullshit we don't need. All right, it's time to move past this Tala might play gimmick and
I think the only way he will end up playing is if CSK's qualification is decided and the last game is in Chennai by that time, he will play.
yeah,
When I say CSK's
unfortunately,
qualification is decided, it can be yes or no.
yeah. Look, it was in a very good position until these elections completely ruined that track for them. Now CSK don't play their last game in Chennai; they play it in
No, I
Hyderabad.
mean like just their last home game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if he shows up as one impact player or something for the last home game, sure, be my guest. Let them have fun. But they will be putting their qualification on the line. I think their best way to go about it is to play him as impact player for that one game. And if you're in a position where you're already winning the game, then sure, send him up the order and see what happens. Just to listen to the crowd scream. That's about it. Miss
Really
JFM.
missed JSM today. Be honest, if he had played instead of Nisanka, we would have scored the first 300 of IPL. No, bro, he didn't play a negative innings like Dilshan. He might be
Yeah,
from Sri Lanka, but not negative enough for
yeah.
300.
I think there is a very simple change that was put forward for Delhi Capitals at least before today's game happened. That was remove Nisanka, play Abhishek Porel, remove Mukesh, play Stark. But now, given that Lungi is injured, there will be a case in point for Stark to play in place of Lungi, and the Nisanka call will be left to the management. Maybe Nisanka gets another chance just because they still have some leeway for overseas players.
While everything was highlighted about this game, I think everyone has forgotten the knock of Nitish Rana already of 91. It's completely overshadowed.
Drop two times, him as well.
Dropped, dropped two times. But yeah, overall good knock, his home ground.
Yeah, look, I think that time he spent away from the playing 11 has really knocked some sense into him, and he started performing like the good old Nitish Rana that we know. Now, I am not saying that it's going to come good in every game. I'm not even saying that it's going to last a long time. Good to know. But that's on a flat track like this. Anybody is going to score. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot more to come, and I'm really hoping that RCB get to play on this track. I hope they don't give us a different surface to play on. I want the exact same surface, the exact same amount of grass, all the way down to the millimeters.
But it was a day game.
It was a day game. I feel like it shouldn't make a difference if it's a night game also. You just might see a little bit more swing.
That would be crazy, like scoring 300 plus in Delhi.
Yeah, I mean, if not in Delhi, I feel like we should see 300 plus at some stage of this tournament.
Yeah, I really want to see at least any of the team breaching the 300 mark this season.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile,
Punjab, Punjab, Rajasthan, Hyderabad, Bangalore, all the four teams have a firepower top three. They should be able to breach 300.
true. Especially given that in every single team there are at least two or three players who are batting at a strike rate of 200 minimum across the tournament. And there's been a very funny trend since last night. Kohli had the orange cap last night. KL Rahul had the orange cap this afternoon. Vaibhav Suryavanshi had the orange cap at the end of the first innings in the second game, and Abhishek Sharma holds the orange cap at the end of tonight's game.
Abhishek Sharma was either was wearing an orange cap.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference to these SRH players. That's why David Warner's orange caps will never really be counted, all three of them. All right. We should also talk about Punjab's batting by itself because I think they were 83 in 6 overs. Sorry, 3 overs.
They crossed 100 in 6 overs.
They crossed 106 overs. They were 83 in 3 overs, I think. 3.4 something.
That's
Because
crazy.
I was standing at a signal
It could
and
be
I
four.
no, I was standing at a traffic signal and I heard
Yeah.
two people go past me shouting, "Hey, boy, 83 in 3 point something overs." So that's just why I'm asking. I really want to take a look at this. Yeah, they were 83 by the end of 3.5 overs. So they got 27 runs in the fourth over. 6 overs, 116. Is that the record? Has that beaten Chrislin and Sunil Narayan's stand?
Yeah, that has beaten Chrislin and Sunil Narayan stand, but there is still the record of Abhishek and
Oh, yeah, from the LSG game. 9 overs
yeah, they
chase.
have some 125 in the
Uh-huh.
ball.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair. Yeah. Because today was a day where we almost saw a lot of records tumble down. One being Chris Gale's 175. Two, when that possibility was slightly gone, we almost saw McCullum's 158 being reached. Then there
AB
was
Kohli
a chance to
partnership
get,
229.
yeah, the 229 was very close to being reached, and luckily it stopped at 220. However, another Kohli partnership was broken. The 215 is gone. It's at number three now, and we don't hold the top two partnerships anymore. We only hold one. Aside from this, there was also a chance to touch 287, but they just didn't have enough runs in the eighth, ninth, and 10th over. I think Delhi had very poor overs in between. Let me just take a look at that. Eighth over, 9 runs, ninth over, 7 runs, 10th over, 8 runs, and 11th over, 12 runs. So that little phase might have slowed it down for them. But aside from that, there was also a case for Vaibhav Suryavanshi to get to the fastest 100 at one point or the fastest 50. He bottled both of them. He got a 15 ball 50 when he was
He
batting on.
was 13 ball 44, so He would have
Yeah,
equaled.
you would have equaled it. No,
Still,
Jaiswal,
Jaiswal holds the fastest 30
Jaiswal is still 13. Yeah, I'm talking about the fastest 50, which is 12 balls. The
Ah,
Yuvraj IPL record, right? Because he was batting on 30 of 5 balls, 6 balls, something like that. 30 of
yeah,
6 balls.
30 of 6 balls.
Yeah. So if he was on 30 of 6 balls, he was on course to get to 50 in 10 balls.
Like 6 balls.
Yeah. So he screwed that up. And once he got a 50 of 15 balls, technically speaking, you still can get the other 50 of the next 15 balls and equal Chris Gale's record of 30 ball hundreds. But okay, that's fine. He's a 15-year-old kid. Look at the amount of pressure we're putting on him. Well, second game, let's talk about him. Vaibhav Suryavanshi got 103 of 37 balls and somehow got dismissed playing a scoop shot after all that. And funnily enough, aside from the Suryavanshi and Jurel partnership, there was a little burst from Ferreira towards the end, but really nothing much from the rest of the batters, right? Jaiswal scored a 10 of 8, Hetmeyer with an 11 of 10, Parag with 7 of 9. When you have knocks like this, which is adding up to how many balls? 8, 9, and 10. So that's 19, 27 balls. And they've gotten 28 runs. Yeah, so that's probably where the game has changed, right? Because if you have SRH chasing this down with just under 2 overs to spare, that 27 of 20, 28 of 27 balls is a very familiar number. Where have I heard this before? Rohit Sharma, 2022 semifinals, 28 and 27. Or was it 27 and 28? Or something like that.
Yeah, run a ball just one run ahead.
Nice. I don't know why that thought popped up into my head.
Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, it was a decent bowling performance from both Cummins and Malinga. They've been doing a solid job.
Yeah,
They
they pulled them back, pulled the score back pretty much well after the power play.
they did, but I think the turning point was starting from the 17th over, right? Because that's where RR had to go through three very miserly overs. The 17th over went for actually the 16th over itself went only for 7 runs, and the 17th went for 4 runs. 18th went for 18 runs, but that was made up in the 19th and 20th with 5 and 10 runs respectively. So at the 15 over mark, if you are on 184 for only 3 wickets, you wouldn't expect yourself to finish at only 228 by the end of the 20th over.
Yeah.
They'd crossed 150 in the 12th, I think by the 13th over itself.
Yeah, but it's again Abhishek Sharma with
The funny thing is, this wasn't even planned. It came from Dil.
yeah. Abhishek Sharma outshines with his batting again. That was a brilliant first over by Jofra Archer. He was breathing fire as usual. He's been doing it consistently at
He
this point
almost
in
had
the
four
game.
in a row.
You expect him to take a wicket in the first over or the first ball even.
He
Then
almost had it again. Jurel dropped the catch of the first ball today, or else he would have had 4 in a row. You could see him crying about it on in the replay as well, right? The whole huddle around him, he was like, four, and he was like, he was crying about how he could have had the fourth one on the first ball itself, but ended up getting it in the sixth ball of that over. Jaddu dropping a catch, yeah, I mean, we've seen we've seen a lot of very good fielders drop sitters this year. Shashank Singh last year was phenomenal as a fielder, and suddenly he's dropped 4 out of 4 catches. I think in the last 6 catches that have come to him, he's dropped 5. Um, Jadeja has dropped one, Kohli has dropped one. I think Rohit dropped one as well in the first match, first or second game. I'm not sure. Who else did we see? We saw
Basin.
who?
Wash Basin.
I said good fielders.
Fielders. Klassen.
Klassen dropped a catch, yes. So yeah, I think if we put together a list of these, it'll go on for ages, honestly. And who dropped KL's catch
In which game?
today?
Today, I, wasn't it Shank?
That was Shashank only, right? Okay, then who dropped Nitish Rana's catch? That was Bartlett.
Hetty. Oh, sorry,
Who?
Nitish Rana. I mean, I was Nitish
Ah,
Reddy.
Nitish. Right. Wait, what? No, I'm asking about who dropped Nitish Rana's catch.
Yeah, I got confused with Nitish Reddy's catch. Even
I
that
think
was dropped.
Bartlett or someone dropped. Yeah. And Travis had also dropped a catch of the last ball of the first innings today. So we've seen a lot of, yeah, Bartlett. It was Bartlett, yes. So yeah, we've seen quite a few of these, and it has been a disappointing show with at least the fielding side of things. So far, RCB has been the best team in terms of fielding efficiency. Punjab, I would say, barring Shashank, everyone else has done a decent job. Um, Poor guy has nothing running in his favor right now. But for all you know, if Punjab do make it to the finals, then we might see a bit of a Srishant moment in the finals for Punjab because someone that dropped catches all tournament long ended up taking the most important catch of the season in the final. So if Shashank has a moment like that, then you heard it here first. Jurel dropped head on the first ball, that as well. Yeah. So there's been a very poor show of fielding. Let's talk about good games. Let's talk about what happened yesterday because it was a clinical chase from RCB, who is a side that until 2024 had never chased 200 more than once.
The last time they had chased 200 plus before 2024 was when Jack Carles was playing cricket for RCB and not
For
KKR.
RCB. So yeah, since then we've seen a
Quite
few
dull.
incredible chases. We've seen Will Jacks do it. We've seen Jitesh Sharma do it. We've seen the women's team do it a couple of times, which is fun as well. And we've seen Virat Kohli pull it off yesterday. And there was a brilliant stat that came out yesterday. In every single one of RCB's highest successful chases, Virat Kohli
Oh,
has been a performer, and he averages, I think, 50 something across these games.
yeah, he goes
Let me,
past the 50 average
let
in
me
those
pull
games.
up the stats for you guys. Once again, Shabas Bhai, he just gives us all the stats we need. Um,
200 points a score, I forget Washington for, and the fact that we chased it down against him is insane. Yeah, thank you, Washington.
of
One day,
course.
no slander, Washington slander.
All right. Highest targets chased by RCB in both the IPL and the CLT20. 228, Kohli got 54 of 30. 215 in 2011, Kohli got 70 of 36. 206, which was the Will Jacks game. No, sorry, 206 was yesterday's game. Kohli 81 of 44. 204 in 2010, that was our OG 200 chase. Kohli was 16 not out. 204 against the New South Wales, Kohli 84 of 49. 202 versus SRH last year, sorry, this year in the opening game, Kohli 69 of 38, not out. 201, the Will Jacks game, he was 70 of 44. 192 in 2016 was the 108 of 58. The 187 versus SRH in 2023, 100 of 63, and 184 in 2016 against KKR, 75 of 51. So he has performed over and over and over again in these high pressure, high scoring chases. And Harsha Bogle still has the audacity to call him out over and over and over again. Um, Another funny stat for you guys, not pertaining to the IPL, is India have chased 350 plus three times in ODI history, and in all three of them, Virat Kohli has scored 100.
Yeah,
So Just putting forward some chase statistics for you guys to
Never doubt the chase master.
yeah, it's not like anyone doubted him in the first place, but re-emphasizing, reiterating everything that we've been saying for ages together, Kohli is impossible. Brother,
Right.
you were the first pick. You had the first pick, and you chose Pradeep Sangwan ahead of Kohli.
I think
And
the
it
choking gene started from
Walking
there.
Gene started before the IPL was even a thing. Before Brendan McCullum had played the first ball in the IPL, Delhi Capitals had choked. And very funnily enough, Vijay Mallya himself was prepared to let Kohli go to Delhi, and he was ready to pick Manish Pandey as first pick. And these guys picked Pradeep Sangwa, and next thing you know, Mallya has put his hand up for Kohli. there is there is no stealing over here. You handed him over to us
Thank
on a
you.
silver platter. Thank you for
Thank you
that.
so much.
We've had an excellent 18 years, 19 years now. So yeah, Kohli's chasing was one thing, but at one point, right, he was still on 50 of 30 until his strike rate boosted itself up to 200. Until that point, it was the DDP show. We thought it was going to be a Jacob Bethel blast session, given that Phil Salt had a fever, but Bethel did show a few nice glimpses of it. He ensured that Salt retains his place in the side. And we saw that DDP continues ensuring that Venki Iyer does not step foot into the playing 11, at least for the number three. Now, next question here is why did RCB end up almost choking? Why were our balls in our mouths in the second half of that match? It has a lot to do with the fact that we tried going for the net run rate boost. So it was a little bit of blind slogging from everybody. I feel like even Jitesh played a pretty valuable knock there with
Yeah,
what
that
10
was a good catch. Like he just played straight to the fielder, but he was looking to get a four over the covers. But he
yeah.
looked in good touch, like sending a six and a four to Rashid Khan. Looked in good touch, but I just hope he gets some more game time and he gets a
He
big
just
one.
needs one innings to get him going because that's what happened last year, right? The Mumbai knock got him going. From there, we could see glimpses throughout the season. Now, if Jitesh is not giving us the strike rate that we require, again, it has a lot more to do with the fact that Jitesh was batting at 5 last year and David was coming in after him. But after we've seen what Tim David can do, and we've also seen Australia promoting him up the order to play in the power play itself. There's a little bit more of a case for Tim David to come in and play at number 5 than Jitesh Sharma. So that's it is unfortunate for Jitesh, but it's a role that's been assigned to him, and he has to be accommodating towards it.
It's a tough job.
Yeah. Devdutt Padikkal, on the other hand, has been prime Chris Gale so far, and his celebrations after the 50 just make me happy, right? He pulls up his shirt, shows that he is an RCB man through and through.
It's where he belongs.
It's nice to see the franchise finally receiving the fruits for investments that were made ages ago. And it's nice that nobody else could take advantage of those investments later on, right? Because we've seen players that we have brought up that have gone to other franchises and have come
It's a
back to
it's a long
RCB. And
list
Devdutt
that we
Padikkal has been a true RCB boy. He has gone to RR, he has gone to LSG, and he has done nothing. This as well. Oh my God, the aura that Surya Sharma carried. Because a couple of balls just before that, he injured himself trying to stop a ball. It was his non bowling arm. So there was a small break. He came back. He was ready to bowl again. And the next thing you know, Gill has bowled out at long on. And Suya Sharma celebrates with a bow down like Shubman Gill did in 2023 in the last league stage game. in a lot of ways, this was a repeat of that game, just in the reverse fashion, right? Because you had Sai
Yeah.
Sudarshan score 100
It
in the
looked like a
first.
similar pitch as well, just that it didn't rain.
Exactly. Sai Sudarshan scored 100 in the first innings. It just seemed a little too slow for his own well-being. A 57 ball 100 on a pitch that looked better than what it was. When you had Shubman Gill not giving him anything from the other end, it was a good 100 given that there was no support from the other end. You compare that with Kohli's 100 in 2023, same thing. It was a 60 ball 100 and it was a good 100 given that there was nothing from the other end. They ended up with 190 odd that day, and
99.
yeah, 199, and Shubman Gill ended up chasing it down effortlessly in the second innings. Role reversal, Kohli and DDP ended up chasing it down effortlessly in the second innings. So, also funnily enough, there were quite a few runs that came off edges. Not nearly as many as the one we saw in the GT game in 2023,
Of
but
course,
we
as
got a
finished.
good number of edges that gave us run. That day was, I think, 32 or 36 runs in
Yeah,
edges.
easily. That
Yeah, easily.
ish.
A lot of those came off Siraj. He was bowling beautifully that day, unfortunately for him.
Well, Abhishek, I think it's better to forget what happened today. Like, today never
Yeah.
existed.
Look, because we ourselves have leaked a 287, but nobody talks about that leakage because we only lost by 25 runs that day. It was a good fight. And I would say that it was a good fight from Delhi's side today as well, given that they did not have Lamine Giri. I will re emphasize that point over and over again. One bowler shot, your main death bowler shot, and still took it up until the 19th over. I know it's no excuse in the 260 game, but it's just that kind of a surface. Nothing can be done.
And also in cases like concussion substitute, you can't have a foreign player come in for a foreign player.
Yeah,
And that also costed them. Like, had they even got Dushmanta Chamira, would have been slightly better.
yeah. They just never had the bowling to do the job. That's about it. See, this is very true. It's very true in its own. In its own. I'm not getting words because the only thing flashing in my head is at 49. Because there are just some losses that you can't get over, the 49 being on top of that list. Then a lot of these losses have come against KKR only now that I think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
49, Krislin and Sunil Narayan bashing us. Then which one was the other one?
Brazil.
The Russell knock in 2019. A lot of these have
Okay.
come against KKR itself, and that's just unfortunate. There was also the Krislin catch against De Villiers. That was a game that should have ended 6 runs in 3 balls. It was AB all along, and that guy takes a catch like that, and then Albie Markle fails to clutch for us after doing all that he did for CSK with the bat. That game was also annoying enough to watch. So there are a lot of losses that are a little difficult to get over.
You just hope that you get a good redemption in the future.
Exactly. A lot of these CSK losses don't matter to us because
We
we've
got a
had
very
games
good redemption.
in the future. Yeah. But a lot of those KKR games, you still want to give something that's equal to what we've seen in the past, and it's very difficult to give another 49 back. So that record is well and truly ours. Even a bottle job by Rajasthan Royals against SRH in the previous game didn't end up with 49. So there's nothing we can do. The key word here is if.
If
Goes against RCB, that's the final nail in the coffin. Not
not
necessarily. IPL is a funny tournament. You never know. If you beat RR twice, you're back in the hunt, right? If you beat RR even once, you're in a pretty good position to put yourself back, at least in that top half of the table. Imagine Lungi coming back to life and seeing what Karuna. Poor lad. Poor lad. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what Karun Nair is still doing in the IPL. There are just some players, right? You look at them and you wonder, what are they still doing in the IPL? Top of that list is Shah Rukh Khan.
I saw an interesting stat today that if Rajasthan Royals get to play the finals this season, it will be 100th game for Riyan Parag. How has time flown by? Like, Riyan Parag has played 100 games.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's only yesterday since Riyan Parag was doing that dance.
Yeah, the Bihu dance.
I see that Leander's catching up on everything that we've done today.
Yeah,
Pant is at the top, Gaikwad second. Let's be honest, Gaikwad has had a few good seasons, and you can't put him in the Shah Rukh Khan category because he has had an orange cap season for that matter, right? Pant,
yeah.
I can still understand where that emotion is coming from because I think post 2018 I've not seen Pant perform. He had
19
one.
to some extent, yeah.
Okay, fine. He might have had one decent season for Delhi, some 400 season with
20,
yeah,
yeah,
some
even
average.
2020 was decent.
Yeah, but not monumental, not worth 27 crores. If he is released back into the auction, the only reason teams would bid for him and pay that much is because of brand value. But as a player, I
Now
really don't.
that's even depleting now.
Correct. Brand value has depleted for him, but as long as he is a part of the test team, you will have a decent amount of value as a brand. Aksar is as a captain. I feel like Aksar's biggest flaw as a captain is to not know when to bring himself on, and that is it's a very big mistake making bowlers captains of a team, right? Because they find it very difficult to put that faith in themselves to come and bowl because sometimes you see left-handers and Aksar dismisses irrespective of whether they're batting left-handed or not. Aksar has dismissed them in the past, but we've also seen cases where he just completely removes himself and Kuldeep from the attack and bowls God knows who instead. Nitish Rana
Shreyas
in the
Iyer
previous
is insane. Like, to take three different franchises to a final, that's top tier, like GOAT level stuff.
yeah. Look, I still feel like Dhoni has been the best in IPL history, barring his inner dealings. Let's put that aside. Just as a
Yeah.
captain, with teams that are filled with randoms, right? You look at okay, up until 2011, those wins were
Like
valid.
2018,
2018,
2021, 2023. What they did in the back end, like three titles.
Shardul Thakur, Imran Tahir, Harbhajan Singh, and okay, Bravo was there. But with bowling attacks like this, when you're facing off against some really good teams, it's insane how Dhoni Juju used to work, right? Because there was a game against Punjab, he'd sent Shardul Thakur, no, sorry, he'd sent Deepak Chahar and Harbhajan Singh ahead of himself. Both of them scored quickfire 30s and gave CSK something to play with. So there have been moments like this in Dhoni's career where you can see his captaincy do something, but post 2020, he's just been a liability. So that kind of balances itself out. That's why we are sitting on the statement of Shreyas Iyer being the best captain because it is also translated forward with his bat. He's let the bat also do the talking, not just for Punjab, but also for KKR and Delhi.
Yeah, it's been like three different finals, but he needs a few more trophies to
He
beat
does,
the
yeah.
benchmark what Dhoni has set. Like,
Yeah, because so far he's won only the one with KKR, and let's be honest, that was a god tier team. It was a very well structured side, and Sunil Narayan bowling and batting like he was at that stage was insane. Well,
No,
the
I wouldn't
not
agree with
I
this.
wouldn't
Like
agree.
not completely, but
Test
Kohli
captain
was
as a
test
test
captain,
captain,
yeah, but in terms of IPL, he had some horrid decisions, and he was good at utilizing the resources, like whatever was available
yeah,
with him. He was good with that,
for sure.
but
I
still, like
think
some he's made
with,
some terrible choices in.
with the show that Vettori has put forward in the auction, Kohli utilized those resources well. The likes of Timal Mills, there was a time when our bowlers were Kulwant Kejrolia, Timal Mills, Stuart Binney was our lead pacer of 2016. Aside
And
from
it's interesting to see that Stuart Binney hasn't conceded a six since 2017.
Mayanti, support. Yeah, look, that's just about it. I think
Like he had a good team, but
when we
he was just never like, yeah, yeah. Coming back to here, like when he had a good team, this man ruined it everything. This man plus COVID plus everything was
yeah,
against him.
2021 we were going perfectly fine. That season was running very smoothly for us. We had 5 wins in 6 games at one stage.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, Varun Chakravarti, it's always KKR, man. Varun Chakravarti does what he did, then we came up against KKR, wore that fuck ass blue jersey, COVID jersey, got screwed over there also. It's just
it
an
was just
endless
against him. It was not meant to be.
and yeah, his mental state was in shambles at that point because he'd already announced that he's letting go of captaincy from T20
T20.
guys, and he had already announced that it would be his last season as RCB captain. So Rohit has gotten insanely good teams. He's always had, I think, probably the best bowling attack and the best middle order, which is what defines IPL sides.
Yeah, for me, the best Mumbai Indians wins are like 2013, 15, and
Yeah,
19.
because 13 and 15, I think both those years they came from the bottom of the table and qualified and ended up winning. So
And 13, like he had the likes of Ponting and Tendulkar, like he benched
correct.
both of them and won the trophy.
Exactly. He received captaincy midway through the season in 2013, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it was handed over to Rohit midway through the season. Sachin gave up on the captaincy. Yeah.
Exactly. So that happened. And in 2013, he actually had a very good season with the bat as well, batting at number four. I think he ended up with 500 something runs at a strike rate of 132 or something. So I see that there is, I mean, Rohit Sharma has always had potential as a captain. There's nothing doubting that. But he has been given some very good teams of of all his captaincy stints, even in his India stint, right? He was able to get to the finals of the 2023 World Cup with an insanely good team, and we also have an invincible side in T20s.
T20 side.
Yeah, our white ball team is just something else right now, and there is a lot of credit that should be given to Rohit Sharma for structuring the team in that fashion and maybe building that mentality, and also let's say practicing what he preached, right? Because it wasn't something that the team did for him. He also chipped in. He also played his role in ensuring that the team did what it did. Tests, however, is a different story. We will discuss that in a separate episode.
Yeah. All right. It's been a good sesh. We will be running in 6 hours. So we need to get some sleep and some rest for
Kind
our
of forgot.
bodies. Uh, it's been good talk, a lot of topics, many games that we covered. Uh, bottom table, the battle of bottom table tomorrow. 4 teams.
Yes,
You
sir.
will not see us tomorrow because it's irrelevant. We will be back next week with some interesting cricket. Like, let's just hope something happens, something
Yeah.
miraculous happens
Look,
tomorrow.
if we see an interesting game, we'll come live. Okay.
If you
Some
don't
some
see us,
days, yeah, some days we're just bored.
yeah. All right, good talk and good night.
Good night.